that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I gotta get this on camera. No. No. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Marino Show. I'm your host, David Marino, and today I'm talking to Joel Castillo, owner of Retro City, based in San Antonio. He puts on a number of different events, and Joel, I'm so happy to have you on my show today.
Hey, nice to be on your show, and nice meeting you finally.
Yeah, so I have to say, I've seen a lot of the different events that you do in San Antonio on social media. They run the gamut, a variety of different types of pop culture events. There's some horror genre stuff, but tell me about your business and how you got started with Retro City.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say 2017, 18. I started a little retro shop, little store, and it was based on 80s, 90s because I love retro nostalgia. So it was a very cool shop. It had an arcade and everything. Had like classic rock and roll, horror, 80s retro, just cool stuff. So we did our 2 years there, and halfway through, that's when the whole 2019 COVID thing hit. So kind of put a damper on it, and but we survived. We did our 2 years, and it was great. So once we did that, I started doing like little shows, and it just kind of just went to just kind of went to fire, from small to big. We started this probably about 2 years ago, and this past November we did our first big convention at the Henry B Convention Center, which was great, San Antonio Fear Fest. And but yeah, we do our shows. We do different genres. We had like a Mortal Kombat event where we brought all the actual video game actors from Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 down here, and it was great. Everybody was all wild up about that. We've done a lot of horror. We've had like the Return of the Living Dead reunion. We've had Demons 1 and 2 actors down here, actresses down here. I mean, just tons. I mean, we do pretty much everything. We do an annual Necronomicon where we bring different Evil Dead actors and actresses down. But yeah, we do monthly events. We do just everything. Just to cover all bases. Just to because everybody has their different genre. We don't want to just do one single thing where it's just kind of boring. We want to kind of do it. Do different stuff. Do retro. Do horror.
I find that there's I grew up in the 80s, born in the 70s, but then grew up in the 80s. So I grew up with all the slasher flicks, like the Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Streets, but then also the other 80s films. Like one of them I think of is always Just One of the Guys. I love that movie. There's so many films and nostalgia now. I feel like with nostalgia, it has definitely, it's something that has taken on a life of its own. And I specifically noticed, living in Austin, while Austin has its thing and, the music and all the arts
Yeah.
as well, I find that San Antonio seems to be more in tune with, and I don't know what your perspective is, with the pop culture, with especially the horror type shows that are coming there. Why do you think that San Antonio has kind of evolved into this space that really has a demand for nostalgia and also a lot of the horror genre stuff, which I absolutely love?
It's just something that's it's just this is just a big horror based fan based city. I mean, there's really nothing to it. Um it's just a big demand, so a lot of promoters see that, and you see what kind of crowds the horror events bring. So everybody, it's just a trend. Everybody wants to do it, and everybody wants to bring, all the people to their shows. So I think horror is pretty much the first. I think it's the number one based attraction here in San Antonio. But it's just something that in my my age range, from the 30s, 40s, even early 50s, the nostalgic 80s, 90s horror movies. Those are just, I mean, that and to my in my opinion, those are just way better movies than today. I mean, it's just people grew up with that, and it's just I think they were like more scarier, and look more realistic than today's special effects and green screen and all that other stuff. So
Yeah, I even like some of the current throwbacks like Terrifier where it's that gruesome kind of like ridiculous over the top campy stuff. That's
yeah,
why I like the 80s. But being a part of or owning this business, Retro City, and as you mentioned, you had a shop prior to COVID. But I know that being involved in the type of business that you're running, it takes a lot of work. There's a lot of coordination that goes into it. How do you approach these different shows? I mean, it feels like there's a lot of moving parts. So for those who don't know how it works, I mean, you're dealing with talent, but you're
yeah,
also dealing with the location, you're dealing with vendors.
yeah,
So me on my end, seeing that that's such a big, it's a lot to juggle. How did you get into this? What really fueled your, love for going into the business of it? Because it's one thing to love all the stuff, right? But
yeah,
like making it a business, I mean, that's a passion and it's a lot of work.
yeah.
So what made you want to go into business?
Well, like I said, it's kind of goes hand in hand with the store. I just love it. It's my passion. I mean, to hang out with friends, which are my vendors, um, to meet actors, pick them up, have a one-on-one conversation in the car with them, to go eat with them after. I mean, you just can't beat that. You know what I mean? For me, it's not a job. I mean, I have this is more like a hobby for me. I have a main business I do at home from home. That's my main business, Monday through Friday. You know what I mean? uh Doing these big shows, it's just something I just do for kicks. That maybe that's why I'm always relaxed, and I have fun doing it. Meeting new people, new agents, meeting new vendors all the time. I made some really good best friends out of some of the vendors. And I even push some of the vendors where they have, I think four of them, they got actual stores now, at Ingram Park Mall. So I love seeing how vendors kind of started, and then where they're at a year from now, 2 years from now. I've seen a lot of them grow, and real proud of them. So I'm just a big supporter of small business because I was a small business, and I'm just here to kind of help out and bring the horror and the event community together, and just here to have fun, make memories.
Supporting small business is so important. And we know a mutual person, Israel Rico, who's an artist that I bought some of his paintings because they're so good. And it's a lot of them in the horror genre.
Yeah,
But um, that's great because I do think that art needs supporters, especially small businesses. So, being able to foster that growth and see it is also awesome. And one of the things that I think also stands out about what you're doing is that they are, shows that attract a lot of people, but I think it's a size that's great for vendors because sometimes if a show is too big, the vendors sort of get lost in all of the other
yeah.
things going on. So, what is your feeling on that? And do you want to do different types? Do you want to do like the small shows and then maybe do like a really large one? You said Fear Fest, which was larger, but do you
Yeah.
want to have a combo of kind of the types of events that you hold, or are you already currently doing that?
No, so now that I already been there, done that, kind of did it all. Got a big, got a taste of the big event, that we did at the convention center, and how I do my small ones. I'm gonna prefer the small ones, only because just to your point, and not just because of my show, because things I hear from a lot of vendors that attend like the really big shows. For example, for the mall, almost the same thing, except it's just a semi smaller show. You have it's the same concept, bring celebrities, vendors, decorations, whatever, but it's free. And vendors pay typically $100 to $200 for the weekend. And it's a great turnout. They make money. So what all the stories I hear from vendors about the bigger shows, there's at least a couple here in San Antonio, like the bigger ones. They're being charged about $650 to $700, for 2 days. Same concept. There's celebrities there. Somewhat a good turnout. I don't think it's a great turnout like a free event, because people, and this is just a feedback I hear from several vendors, what they see, and how they're impacted. People, they got to pay for parking, they got to pay to get in, they got to pay for their food. And then they're there for, and we all know they're there for the actors to get 1, 2 autographs. After that, whatever they have left over, or if not, they just do a round, say hi to the vendors, and they, take off. And the vendors paying 750. I mean, you got to make at least, being a vendor at a 3 day show. So let's say their table 750, 3 days of parking. That's $20 times three. Uh, their lunches for 3 days, their gas. So if they're not making 850, and that's just breaking, that's just covering your table. Now you have to start from there and see how much profit they can make. So I don't think it's worth it. It's a big headache, and I don't think it's worth it for the vendor. So I won't ever do a big one again, just because I saw it with my own eyes. And when I did it, I charged 250. I didn't. I think 750. I think that's ridiculous. So I just did 250 because, again, I'm not in it for profit or money. I'm in it to. That was more of like a bucket list. Hey, I did a show at the Henry B. You know, uh, for the vendors fees, I kept it at 250. People are probably thought I was crazy for that, but I'm not there to make money. I wanted them to make money and leave with a smile versus, oh man, I paid 750, I only made $500 this whole 2 days. I don't want to hear any of that. You know what I mean?
I
So
love that. And
yeah,
I
so
definitely think there's a difference between like you said, you have your Monday through Friday job where you
yeah,
make
yeah,
your money. And same with me. I do this as a fun side gig. I have my regular job,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, exactly. See,
I
yeah,
definitely think that helps. I've also heard, like, I interviewed an actor recently that talked about from the actor's perspective, and I'm not taking anything away from,
yeah, yeah,
those business people that run the larger
yeah.
con shows. However, even the actors have a hard time breaking even when they go to
Oh
those
yeah,
shows. And what he was telling me was that it's not just that, they don't want to sometimes pay for, flights, or you're putting
yeah,
a lot up front and not getting a lot in return. And the thing for the actor is, look, we all have to make money, but I
yeah,
also care about my fans. And I think what's more disturbing to me is what you just said. This is what he told me, was that they're paying so much money just to get in the door
yeah,
that they can't even really, like, if you're on a budget, as most people are,
yeah,
you could probably get one or two autographs by the time you paid for all of the fees. And then
yeah.
you try to do these, you could probably get one or two individual autographs unless you're just rolling in money, because it's expensive.
Oh,
And
it's super expensive.
yeah, so I love that you're being conscious about that, and thinking about the artists, the vendors, and also the actors, and the different talent that's there.
Yeah, yeah, and and to your point, and there's been like 2, 3 times that we've chatted with celebrities that we brought down to the mall, and they said pretty much the exact that. They're like, man, we didn't know this would work. Doing a free, because they didn't. They're so used to just going to big cons. They've never done like a free event. So they're like, how do you make money, and how do you do how you do, and I said, well, I make money, I make my money from the vendors. I'll break even, or I'll make a little off the top. I'll even sell some stuff on the side, and I'm fine. My train of thought is, it's a free event, so you're gonna get, I mean, sky's the limit. You're gonna get limited more people to the event, especially at the mall. So not just people that saw the advertising, but people that just are there already or walked into it. They see the event, they're curious, they go in there like, oh wow, so and so's here, and blah blah blah. So the vendors do great, and I think they do better at the at a smaller event as well. I got this high end actor, and I was like, man, is he gonna make 8,000 in, with two weeks of, or 1 week of, no, it was 2 weeks of, advertising. So I was sweating, and I was like, man, and man, he made, I think we were short off like $500. So he made like 7,500 in, in the 2 days that he was here with just 2 weeks of advertising. Because Well, for one, I'm a big advertiser, so I push it as much as I can. But yet a lot of people that oh man, we didn't know this was going on. Who's here and blah blah blah. And they just kind of get in the mix. So like I said, there's 2 3 actors that they say they've made more here at at a smaller show than one that you have to pay for. Um, so I do them at the malls. I do them at we do them at Marriott's, and even the Marriott's are free admission, free parking. So it gives all that extra money to pour into the celebrity, to pour into the vendors, and it just makes everybody happy.
Tell me about the event that you have coming up. Is it in May? One of your
Yeah,
bigger events? Yeah.
July 11th. We're having a big. It's called Texas Cosplayer Ball. So this is like one that's really never been done before. So I think that's why it got a lot of attraction. So this is kind of dedicating to cosplayers because I think they make what the events are. They play a factor in it because a lot of these cosplayers, some of them go all out. And it's not, people don't understand how much time it takes to do what they do. The makeup, getting dressed, being hot in their costume. So I'm doing a event that's going to be dedicated to cosplayers. It's called Texas Cosplayer Ball, and it's got a lot of traction just because no one's ever done one before. So that'll be July 11th at the Marriott Northwest here in San Antonio. So to the one that you're excited about, the Necronomicon, our annual one. This will be our third annual Necronomicon. It's our love, or my love, but it's our love for Evil Dead. So for this year's roster, you seen all of the Evil Deads? You did, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the cool thing about this, it's a mixture of different Evil Deads. It's not just one base movie.
Right, because there's the older
So
versions, there was the remake, and then there's the
yeah,
newer
yeah. So
ones.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we have it all over the place. So we have Ray Santiago from Ash vs Evil Dead. So
Awesome.
he's one of them that's going to be there because we already bought Dana last year. So now we're going to bring the side partner, the sidekick, Ray Santiago. So he'll be there. We have what? She's the remember Evil Dead Rise. So
Yes.
remember the daughter with the short hair
Yeah,
that
yeah,
got
yeah.
possessed.
Yes.
She'll be there. And then we have from Evil Dead Part Two,
Hmm.
Bobby Joe and Annie, the girl with the
Oh,
shorts.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So those two will be there. And then we have what is his name? Something Burger, and
I'll
I'll send you a
share
message.
the graphic anyway over while we're talking to
Yeah,
show all
yeah,
the
yeah.
different
And
people
then
that
and
are.
then yeah, and then we have two special effects artists that worked on the Evil Dead movies. They've worked on like so many movies. Wishmaster, I think Day of the Dead. I think The Terrifier.
Hmm.
But I'll send you those two names. You can do some research. You'll see like they worked on so much stuff, but Evil Dead, they worked on that movie, and I think they'll be two good guys to have a panel with because they have so much knowledge of a lot of the classic horror movies they worked on, and including Evil Dead. Got you the book, just like the deal we had. Give me back home. Hey everybody, Joy here from Retro City. We're excited and stoked for our third annual Necronomicon. For all you Evil Dead and horror lovers, this is going to be a big event. July 25th, 26th at the Northwest Marriott Hotel. There'll be tons of vendors. It's going to be awesome. We have the Evil Dead car out there. We have 6 Evil Dead guests from the franchise coming. Never been to San Antonio. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be groovy. We'll hope to see you there. Follow us for more information, and we'll see you there. Join us. But anyways, it's going to be a great event. So, July 25th, 26th, San Antonio, Texas, at the Northwest Marriott Hotel. So we got 2 ballrooms hooked up, and then we have the whole lobby downstairs. We have so much space, so we're gonna have vendors and entertainment, Evil Dead stuff. I mean, meet and greets. We might even have a screening, of the Evil Dead movie. So just lot of information to come from now till then. We have a lot of stuff to put out there.
So tell me about some of the experiences that you've had. I know you've talked to a lot of different actors, but is there one that stands out or a few that stand out to you that you've met that you were just in awe of because maybe you grew up watching them
Yeah,
or they were just really cool in person? I mean, they all sound, from what I've heard from even Israel, that they're all really great. The people that he's come into contact with at these different shows are awesome.
yeah,
But for
yeah,
you, like, because I know I've interviewed a few and it's like surreal because I remember growing up watching them and like a Friday the 13th, and I'm like, I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
believe I'm talking to them.
yeah.
So, are there a few for you that feel that way?
Yeah, Michael Bergman. I mean, you because here, I mean, when you see them on TV and then when you meet them in person, and it's kind of like a 360. You're like, you're like, wow, uh, he's so smart. I mean, he was just talking intellectually. He's like his dad's a master brain surgeon, I think, and and Michael Berryman was a professional cook. I forgot where. I don't know if it was in the military. His because he's military kind of brought up. And when I took him out to eat, he was just giving me all the all his background and how he got into the movie, but he was just like he knows so much about food and so it was just one of those like like dang kind of weird. And then we had the remember do you remember Night of the Demons? Angela's
Yes.
having
Yeah,
a
yeah.
party, so we brought them down. They were cool, man. We had what's the name of the guy with the pig nose?
Oh,
uh
yeah, yeah. I need to go back and look at. I'm bad with
yeah.
names too.
Yeah, of course, Angela was here. Of course, we had about four of them down here from the movie. Um, Trying to think. Like I said, Demons 1 and 2. That scared the hell out of me because I mean I watched this when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? And that was scary back then. So seeing these people like the actresses like live. I mean, it's just a whole Evil Dead. That's just one. Like my kids love it. My little 9-year old. He like yesterday he had a little shotgun. He's put on his thing and he's quoting the words. And so my kids, we grew up watching Evil Dead for years. And to see Scotty and Linda and Cheryl. And then we all took a picture inside the car. And Scotty Scotty did his line. Oh, you go to hell! I ain't honking at you. So I mean, it's just great memories, man. It just you can't put a price tag on that. It's just great meeting these people and sharing their thoughts and stuff like that. It was super cool. Somebody, man, somebody made them a cake. It was the Necronomicon book. It was like a chocolate cake, and it was like the Book of the Dead. I mean, it was just all kinds of cool, man.
Do your kids enjoy it, or does your family enjoy?
Oh
Do they
yeah,
get to
yeah.
meet
My
some of
my
the?
my son, he's so into the Evil Dead. He'll just randomly put it on. Like yesterday he watched Army of Darkness. He's all into it. It's fun. Um, but I watched it since I was young. I mean, shoot, that was like in the '80s. Uh, Great. Sam Raimi just makes some really good films. I'm stoked that so when we have the Evil Dead event, the Evil Dead Burn comes out that same weekend.
Oh,
So
oh, that's awesome.
you already know it's gonna be hyped up.
Yeah, it's good. That's a great cross promotion. I mean, that the
Yeah,
new film's coming out, and then to have actors there from all of the
yeah.
different films, that's going to be great. Is there anybody that I mean, I'm sure there are people that you try to get all the time, but is there someone that you really, really would like to have at one of your shows or from a certain film or a film that you still haven't been able to get them nailed down? Is there a movie that you're still looking forward to, either the cast or an actor or somebody else?
Yeah, I was trying a couple of times to get Brad Dourif, but he's kind of rare, and he only does so many appearances a year. So when I tried to get him down for Fear Fest last year, he was already taking a break. I tried for Bruce Campbell. he picks and chooses where he's gonna go. So yeah, there are some that are pretty hard to get. Especially people like how how high they are. But the ones that I did meet, I mean, super cool, man. I mean, I don't I don't down on anybody that we've already had. I mean, everybody just gave us a great experience and shared everything with us. When we go out to dinner and stuff, it's super fun. Everybody just kind of lets loose and just talks about everything, and it's cool. It's cool to hear how their personal experience of how they became actors or actresses, and what where they're at now. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. Maybe one day we'll have Bruce Campbell, but God willing, he gets over his cancer. So hopefully all that works out. But
Well, even
um,
I like talking to some of the Friday the 13th actors, or
yeah,
like there's some of the 80s films that are cult classics now, but they weren't necessarily like the biggest hits, like Slumber Party Massacre. I
yeah,
love that movie. Like, I love finding those actors too in those films that they're not really acting anymore, but like hearing what they're doing now or what they're up to, and
yeah,
just getting the behind the scenes stories
yeah,
while they were filming. I love all of that. So I think it's awesome that you're able to do this and have these
yeah,
shows every year, and to do it at a, you know, at a good, like a big enough but small enough that people
yeah,
can
yeah,
attend and afford it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And last year we brought well, she the blonde girl from Chopping Mall.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna look it up now. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So we brought her last year, and she was awesome. It was super cool just talking about her.
Is it Kelly Maroney?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Kelly
Yeah,
Maroney.
yeah.
Yeah. So I brought her last year, and that was cool. She was very hyper and everything. So that was a fun one. We also brought what's her name? Remember the little girl from Silent Hill?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so she came, and she man, she killed it there. She enjoyed it. She had a great time and everything, and we had fun with her. Um, I'm trying to think, but yeah, we always mix it up. I do wrestling shows. Bring down wrestlers. We're probably gonna have a Mortal Kombat one this year, because we haven't brought the Mortal Kombat 3 game actors yet. But we like to mix it up. And there's of course there's gonna be more horror events that we're gonna have. Some more classics. Anybody that loves Fast and the Furious, we're having a Fast and Furious event at Wonderland Mall. That's gonna be Father's Day weekend, June 21st. We're bringing down that guy Hector that plays Hector in all the movies. So he'll be there. We'll have a Lamborghini and some other cars in the mall for free pictures, and just tons of vendors and Fast and Furious related items.